right, so looking over our planned lessons for this week, I realized that I missed something so important that we need to go over. So in Illustrator, InDesign, Photoshop, any of these programs, and you already know this if you've done this, if you worked in them actively before, they all have shortcuts. Most of the graphic design ones are universal, so meaning if you go from, I shouldn't say universal, but universal to Adobe. So if you go from Illustrator to InDesign, as long as they have the same tools, they tend to have the same shortcuts as well. So just for instance, let's say, so right now we have our selection tool, which we would get to with by pressing the letter V on our keyboard. Let's say though we want to get to our rectangle tool so we can draw a rectangle. You can either click on the rectangle, or you can, let's go back to our selection tool, or you can just stay where you're at and press M, and boom, there's your rectangle tool. So I'm going to go ahead and post a list of tools up for you on our learning module, and that way you can start getting used to them. Some of them are slightly different on a PC than an Apple computer, and some things throughout this class will be a little bit different. I'm really not fluid in PC anymore. I haven't worked in them at least for the last 5 years, but honestly I haven't designed in them in probably 10 years. So especially if you have a PC, make yourself familiar with that version of the shortcuts. And I apologize for not knowing that better, but hopefully that'll be enough that you'll be able to keep up. And most of them are the same, like the letter M, the letter V. It gets into where we start using like command and control, things like that. It's just a little bit different, of course, on your PC. All right, so let's try to draw a square. So right now we have our selection tool. I'm going to press the letter M to get to our rectangle tool. And I'm going to try to draw a square. So as you can see, it's really hard to tell when you actually make a perfect square or circle, etc. Except that Adobe, it really always is trying to read your mind, and it'll tell you when you've made a perfect square by making that nice little diagonal line for you. And as you can see in the bottom, it says 3.52 by 3.52 for width and height, right? So awesome. If you want to make a perfect shape, you can, move it around until it shows up and it's about the size that you want. So that's one option. Or you can hold down the Shift key while you're drawing your square, so either before or while you're drawing it, either one, and it'll actually only let you make a perfect square. Hooray. Whoops, I let go of it too soon. There we go. So I'm going to go back to my selection tool, sorry. If you want to move this square anywhere on the screen, that's how you do it, is you go to your selection tool and then you can drag it around. Let's see, what else? Oh, let's talk about our guides and rulers. If you go up to View and then go down to Rulers and then Show Rulers, which you can also say Command R, I didn't know that, all of your rulers will show up on the sides. This can be somewhat helpful, if you know that you need to line up your square on the 1 inch mark, you can kind of eyeball it, it'll show you down below a little bit. But if you really want to make it easy on yourself, you can use guides. I don't know how often other designers use guides, but guides are my BFFs. I always rely on them for everything. So if you want, you can either come to this ruler or this one, but I'm pretending that I need to line up this square at exactly 1 inch. So I'm going to pull it from my vertical ruler over here. I clicked on it, I'm holding it down, and as you can see, there's a little dotted line that shows up. So I'm going to line that line up exactly on 1 inch. And then it gives me this nice aqua blue line, and when I hover over it, or when I go away from it, I'm sorry, it actually turns blue. So now I can get my square that I already made and drag it, and again, Adobe reads your mind, and it kind of snaps it to that line once you get close. But then you can have your little square lined up right there on 1 inch. So now let's say we want to line these two squares up where their tops meet each other, okay? So you can either make another guide. This time you can pull it down from the top and put it at this guy's forehead there. But I don't really want to do that. Oh, and to get rid of a guide, you click on it and then click delete. Instead, I just want to drag it up and make them meet. So I'll show you what I mean. So I'm going to drag it up, and then, like I said, reads your mind. It sees that you're trying to line them up, and it makes a little guide for you. So I want it right there. Actually, I changed my mind. I want it to be at exactly 5 inches, and I want it to line up with my other square. So there are a few other ways that we can make them line up, but this is the easiest way. Oh, what are you doing, square? It probably already knows that I had them lined up, so it's wondering what I'm trying to do now. There we go. Perfect. Isn't that handy? I don't know. I think Adobe is so cool, and so it's almost too smart, honestly. All right, so now that we've learned a little bit about guides and frames, let's get into your other shapes, layers, and then some of your transform tools.